So alongside me, Blake Alderman, recruiting analyst for Rivals.com. We're here after the Under Armour All-American game. Blake, they had 4 Gators in the game. What did you think of their performances today?
Overall, I think that they had some good and some bad. I think Chauncey Gardner is the guy that started out, had a little bit of a rough stretch there, muffed a punt, gave up a touchdown pass to the other team. Kind of rebounded. He was all around the field making tackles. Britt Hedge is another one of those guys. Offensive center, those guys just don't get the recognition they deserve. He had a solid day making blue blocks. Josh Hammond, wide receiver, his older brother, played at Florida. He made some good plays out there too. Actually had a reception snatched out of his hands for a for a turnover there that was rained down the other field. So that was, like I said, the up and down. And then, finally there, Antonius Clayton, great all week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practices was, one of the top performers there. Really got a lot of pressure in the backfield for Team Armour. Had a couple tackles there. I don't think he registered any sacks, but he's a guy that was constantly getting QB pressure there. With Florida, how they really didn't have much of a pass rush once Alex McAllister got hurt there. I think that's a guy that's going to fit in perfect there. I think he's going to be outside on the edge there. I think that's a position of need that Florida has. They already have a guy, Jordan Smith, another guy. They're still targeting Brian Burns, another guy who's playing in the Army game. So, I think that, they really need some help getting to the passer there. They also had a target in the game, Shavar Manuel, who's more of the defensive tackle there. I think that's the guy that's going to really kind of fit that position, like you said, the Jonathan Bullard, to where he can move to a tackle, go outside in the end and put his hand in the dirt and get the edge there. So, I think that, if Florida can get him, they seem to be in a good position for him. I think that's probably that last final need they have right there on the defensive line.
4 Gator commitments in this game, but like you mentioned, Blake, there's also a few targets. Shavar Manuel, as you said, Mac Wilson, the linebacker out of Alabama. Do you expect any other targets that played in this game to commit to the Gators?
I think there's a guy, Kristen Fulton. He's a cornerback. I think that's a guy that could commit to Florida. Right out of Louisiana, those guys, people automatically, if you follow recruiting, a guy from Louisiana, they're pegged to go to LSU. He's taking the visit to LSU. He's going to visit Arkansas, and Florida gets that final visit right there on the 29th of January, which is right before signing day. He's high in Florida. They need DBs. LSU just lost their defensive coordinator, Auburn. There's talks of Corey Raymond, the DB coach at LSU, moving to Miami. So, losing 2 key coaches like that, I think could be a hit for LSU, and it could push things to Florida's, in Florida's corner there. Florida has the ability there. They have all their coaching staff still intact. That's so big in recruiting whenever it comes to these relationships with these coaches. Just having to learn and meet a new guy over again in a span of a couple weeks, it's hard for recruiting. So, I think that's a guy that, is not getting enough attention for Florida fans there. I think he could be one that surprises people on signing day.
We're talking about the Florida Gators, and Florida head coach Jim McElwain said after their stunning loss to Michigan in the Citrus Bowl that he's very excited about this upcoming class, or he made a few references to it. So Blake, when it's all said and done, Jim McElwain with his first full recruiting class under his belt, what do you think it's going to look like?
I think right now, they're top 6 on the Rivals rankings. I think they're going to get a lot more. They're looking to take a heavy class up in there in the 30 range, somewhere in there. So I think that you're going to see, not only are they getting 11 to 12 guys there on campus for early enrollment for spring football, they're going to take a heavy class of 31, a lot of top guys. You get a top 5, whatever class, top 4, 5, 3, however they kind of finish there. It's going to be a top 5 class in my opinion, and I think that you can't get any better there if you're Jim McElwain.